How's it going, everybody? ChaoticMeatball here, and welcome back to another Pokemon ROM hack challenge. Today, I'll be tackling one of the hardest challenges I've done so far on this channel, and while it may not be restrictive as the black and white no healing challenge, that doesn't make it any easier at all. This is Pokemon Blue Kaizo, the first Kaizo ROM hack created by SinisterHoodedFigure, the same person who made Crystal and Emerald Kaizo. And I've gone 0-1 in his games, so you know what? I am going to even out the record, no matter what. There's so many crazy things involved with this hack. Map edits that make a lot more trainers required, updated movesets to give both yourself good moves, but a much better chance of the opponent destroying you by having equally as good moves, and the Elite Four and Champion having level 115 Pokemon. Yeah, level 115. And I'll be taking it all on today with only Water-type Pokemon, meaning I have access to Blastoise, Golduck, Poliwrath, Tentacruel, Dugong, Cloyster, Kingler, Seadra, Seaking, Starmie, Gyarados, Lapras, Vaporeon, Amistar, and Kabutops. Friggin' great selection, right? Oh yes, this is a good selection for Generation 1. Many of these Pokemon don't have unique subtypes, or they have a subtype that many of the other ones have the same of. But I'm not going to reveal my team just yet. I'm going to leave that for the actual run itself. Anyway, let's get into the rules. Rule number 1, I can only use Water-type Pokemon in battle, but I can use HM Mules outside of battle and keep them in my party. Rule 2, no items in battle aside from Pokeballs for catching new Pokemon. And Rule 3, as always with our Monotype challenges, once I add a Pokemon to my team, I cannot take it out of my team, meaning I have to add them very wisely. Last thing before we start officially, I decided to make the month of September a sort of goal month. That I'm going to make the channel goal for us to decrease our non-subbed viewership from 83% down to 60%. You guys in the last video alone have got it down from 83% to 80.4%, so I think we can do it. Anyway, let's get into this run. So of course, since we have a selection of starters, I'm able to grab Squirtle as our first water type. As much as a pure water type isn't the most ideal thing, it is very bulky as a Blastoise, so I'm not going to be opposed to it. I nicknamed it S because I accidentally hit the start button while trying to make a Splash-related nickname. Whoopsie. First things first though, it's rival time, and yes, I named him Wiener. Why? Because the Wiener is using a Mew as his starter. Yeah, that's a big problem, especially since it starts with Thunder Wave. But at least it's only level 3 to make my life a wee bit more fair. I'm able to take it down without going down myself, getting the EXP and moving on to Route 1, where it's really different. This is pretty common in the Kaizo games, as the routes are usually arranged to force you to challenge a gauntlet of trainers instead of skipping things, which is pretty smart since this game's leveling curve is absolutely insane. Either way, I get the Pokédex and moved up to Viridian City and eventually landing on Route 2. There's actually a lot of additional Pokemon on this route throughout the game, so here I'm able to capture a Psyduck. I would get a Staryu, but I find Psyduck to be a bit more useful, despite the fact that it doesn't get stab boost from Psychic types. But hey, not a problem. That's plenty of Pokemon for the beginning of the game. I named it Psyboy because he is a nice boy and he is very tough. So, taking a look at Brock's team, and I'm scared as all heck, so it's grinding time. I didn't even want to fight the trainers in the Viridian Forest before training either, since this is Kaizo and I'm not exactly keen on getting destroyed as easily as I would in Emerald. So after training up to around level 16 and getting Wartortle, I'm ready to challenge Brock. Wait, how am I supposed to get over there? Oh, that's right, just talk to this guy and have him help you climb over this ledge, fair enough. Anyway, Brock time, and he is super tough, beating me the first time, but on my second attempt, I did win. He leads with a Golem, so yeah, that's what we're dealing with here, which I one-shot with Psyduck with Waterfall, leading to Kabuto. I went for Hypnosis, going second, but he has infinite full heals, but this allows me to alternate between it and Seismic Toss before going down, leading to Ammonite. I did the same thing with Seismic Toss, getting it down enough to follow up with Wartortle for the KO, leaving just Aerodactyl. Fly is now a one-turn move in this hack, so it's able to land it twice, but Wartortle's defensive enough for it to survive 2 of them, landing 2 Bubble Beams for the KO and the win, netting me the Boulder Badge. I'll admit, I'm glad he didn't have a full team of 6, but I expect Misty to have 6, so it's time to load up my team by looking around for some new water types. Over on Route 3, I managed to find myself a Poliwag, which evolves into a Water and Fighting type, which gives me a good way of handling normal types, not that I need it, but it also has a great physical attack stat, so that'll be great for taking out frail Pokemon on the defensive side. I wish I could use it for stuff like the Abra line, but of course, Fighting type is weak to that sort of thing. I named it Polyyeet, as a reference to my Poliwhirl from my X and Y No Experience challenge. Go watch that video after this one if you haven't seen it before. Definitely one of my favorite ones. I actually evolved it into Poliwhirl during the grind to get it up to the rest of my team, since SinisterHoodedFigure changed the level of evolutions for a few things, which is quite nice. Route 3 is a bit of a gauntlet, but I'm able to get through it after multiple trips back to the Pokémon Center, getting to the outskirts of Mount Moon where I'm able to capture a seal, nicknaming it Feel, mostly because I want the entirety of this game to feel the power. Also, I'm glad to see that the guy that sells you a Magikarp in the Pokémon Center is unchanged, so I grabbed that, nicknaming it Magikarp. Self-explanatory, but I hope it ends up producing some magic for me throughout this run. Alright, we got 5 Pokemon. I'm gonna leave it at that so I can at least think about my last member. And by think, I mean leave it blank for HM Mules, since I know I'm gonna need a Farfetch for Cut and Fly. Thanks, game. So I tried training up both Seal and Magikarp, getting Magikarp to level 20, but it didn't evolve. What the heck? Well, it was up to level 25, which isn't that much of a problem since Magikarp actually starts with Bubble, and gets Tackle at level 15 like normal, but it's not going to be very useful until it evolves because it can't hit for crap, so I'll just leave it for switch training. And with like 10 trips back to the Pokemon Center and back to the path of progression, I'm able to finally— oh wait a second, that's a Water Stone, I'll take that and evolve my Poliwhirl into Poliwrath, thank you! I also made sure to grab the Helix fossil on my way through Mount Moon. I know if I didn't say what I took, you'd actually be wondering since both of them are water types. Will I use it though? Find out in a little bit. Now I'm finally able to get to Cerulean City. It looks nice with the map edit albeit, but of course I can't get to the gym without going up to get the SS ticket first. Alright, not a problem, let's take on the second rival battle. Well, I got destroyed since he's got a Dratini and Dragonair to cause a bunch of paralysis and wrap problems. So I decided to grind a bit, so I'd at least be able to outspeed before getting paralyzed, including Psyduck evolving into Golduck at level 20. Very useful. He leads with Dratini, going for Wrap on my Seal, then went for Dragon Rage. I landed an Aurora Beam, taking a Thunder Wave before hitting a second one for the KO, leading to Kadabra. So I swapped for Wartortle to take it out with Headbutt, but he swapped for Dragonair, so I hit 3 Headbutts, taking a Dragon Rage before it went down, leading back to Kadabra. It hit Thunder Wave and failed Kinesis, meaning I could take it out with 2 Headbutts, leaving just Mew. I swapped for Golduck, getting hit with Body Slam, of course getting paralyzed and not attacking for the turn. But for some reason though, Mew went for Soft Boiled before I could even do any damage. So I just started going for Seismic Toss and Waterfall, getting about half damage off after he healed with a Super Potion and eventually going down. I decided, hey, may as well try hitting it with Poliwrath, but of course I get hit with Psychic, doing massive damage, but I was finally able to paralyze Mew with Body Slam before going down, sending in Wartortle to do some chip damage before going down as well, leaving just my Magikarp to KO with Tackle, winning me the fight. I beat a Mew with a Magikarp. This certainly puts a smile on my face. After healing though, I was able to work my way through Nugget Bridge and to the path of required trainers, finally allowing me to evolve Magikarp into Gyarados before getting the SS ticket from Bill. I actually almost skipped the second gym on accident, since I forgot I couldn't do it before getting the ticket, so I took out the Rocket and got the TM for Dig before going in. And of course, I'm underleveled even for the regular trainers in there, since the first trainer seeking is higher level than my Golduck. So yeah, it's already time for some more grinding. I ended up leveling my team to level 30 before taking on Misty, which ended up being plenty enough to take her down. She leads with a Vaporeon, so I went for Gyarados in Secret Weapon time. Gyarados gets Thunderbolt by level up, so this was pretty easy. 2 of those on Vaporeon took it down, a critical took out her Poliwrath, 2 of them took out Dugong as it missed Horn Drill. Starmie is the only thing that can stand up to me though, as it also has Thunderbolt, KOing Gyarados and letting me go into Poliwrath and putting it to sleep. And for some reason she doesn't have a full heal, so I'm able to take it down with 3 Body Slams, winning me the fight. Well shoot, that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I'll take easy wins for now, since Lord knows I'll have to work for them later on in this run. So yeah, Route 6 was a gauntlet like I expected. But what I didn't expect was that I couldn't access the SS Anne without going through the gauntlet that was Route 11. This is the first time that a ledge was thrown in front of me, meaning I can't go back and heal between fights, so I'm gonna have to put in my all for these fights, and of course I still whited out once or twice, but I did try my best and I don't think I did too poorly. Of course, this means I have to walk this path every time I want to heal while on the SS Anne, which was a few times, so that was annoying, but I still had some fun with the battles, so it wasn't that big of a deal. What was a decently big deal was the third rival battle, since he's really tough. He's using the 3 evolutions that were available at this point as well as Mew, so it's a pretty solid team. He leads with Flareon, luckily the easiest one for me to take care of at this point, so I took it out with 2 Bubble Beams from Poliwrath, only getting hit with a Body Slam in the process. Next out is Vaporeon, so I swapped over for Gyarados to land a few Thunderbolts, hitting 2 of them and barely missing the KO as he healed. So I just went for a Waterfall to make Thunderbolt a 2-shot after that, only getting paralyzed and surprisingly not missing once despite his insistence on using Sand Attack. Third is Jolteon, the most threatening one for my team, so I swapped into Golduck and used Hypnosis, getting paralyzed in the process, but that's not that big of a deal as long as Jolteon stays asleep. And it does, so I'm able to hit 2 Seismic Tosses before he swaps for Mew, but I just kept going, KOing after 3 of them, and hitting 1 more on Jolteon for the win. Dang, I didn't expect that Seismic Toss was going to be that useful. I'm definitely going to keep this around for a variety of moves. Now with Cut and Toe, I'm able to make my way back into Surge's gym, but man, I am not winning this anytime soon. I am an underleveled Water-type trainer fighting an Electric-type one. I am at a clear disadvantage, so I decided I needed to grind. Diglett's Cave is just to the right of town, so I'm able to grind there to level 40, evolving Wartortle into Blastoise in the process and giving it the TM for Dig. It's the bulkiest Pokemon on my team, and Dig is 100 power in Generation 1, so I think I'll be able to do some pretty good damage with this. He leads with Electrode, so I went for Poliwrath to put him to sleep, swapping for Blastoise to hit him with Bubble Beam and Dig, and KOing and leading to Magneton. I'm able to outspeed and hit a critical Dig, but Thunderbolt is a one-shot, so I just followed up with Waterfall from Golduck before he sent out Porygon. I'm able to outspeed and hit Hypnosis, and he's not using any full heals, so I just went for Waterfall twice to take it out, leading to Jolteon. I decided to stay in, expecting a Thunder Wave and hit a Hypnosis in retaliation, then went for Seismic Toss. I managed to hit all 3 of them for the KO before it woke up, leading to Electabuzz as his 5th Pokemon. It outspeeds and uses Thunderbolt, but it's not a one-shot, so I'm able to put it to sleep and hit 3 Seismic Tosses for the KO, leaving just Raichu. I know it's gonna KO me, so I just let Golduck go down and went out into Dugong. I figured Waterfall would do a bit of damage, and sure enough, it does a little under half, so I went for another one as I got hit with Thunderbolt, doing barely enough not to KO, so Dugong goes down and I follow up with Poliwrath, hoping to put him to sleep, and miraculously he uses a full restore, giving me a free turn to do so. So I swapped to Gyarados to take him out with 2 Waterfalls, winning the fight. That was a bit close, but I expected that, of course. Electric types are going to throw me for a loop. I'm just glad I don't have to overlevel since this team was only 1 level lower than mine. So the next problem I stumbled upon wasn't a trainer or gauntlet or anything, rather it was Rock Tunnel. I figured this would be the problems thanks to the fact that there's map edits, so I had to backtrack all the way back to get Flash and grab a Pikachu for use in Rock Tunnel, leaving Farfetch behind and getting through it without too much of a problem. It's crazy how this cave was laid out though. I would have never figured this out without Flash, and I don't think I'll be memorizing it anytime soon. So, after that, I'm able to arrive in Lavender Town, and luckily I'm able to do the same thing I do normally in my 386 challenge videos for Fire Red and Leaf Green, and that's skip right over it until I get the Silph Scope. Route 8's Gauntlet isn't hard for me to take down, landing me in a relatively unchanged Celadon City. Interesting, but I'll take it. What is changed, though, is the Rocket Hideout, where the grunts are surrounding the staircases just waiting to take me out. Of course, even if it's Kaizo, these are rocket runs, no problem here, though the interesting thing here is that the tiles that normally make you spin in a certain direction are invisible. Weird, but also a little bit more challenging. Either way, Giovanni's here, and he's not that big of a deal, though the fact that he starts with a Persian makes me a happy person. Someone finally decided to observe the anime. It's an easy KO with Poliwrath, but it's here. Next out is Dugtrio, so I swap for Blastoise, taking it out with Bubble Beam as he sent a Nidoqueen. I'm able to swap into Golduck and absorb a Thunderbolt and put it to sleep, taking it down with 2 Waterfalls as Nidoking's out next. But of course it also has Thunderbolt, so I swapped for Poliwrath to do the same thing with it, using Hypnosis and taking it out with 3 Bubble Beams. Fifth out is Rhydon, nothing I can't handle with a single Bubble Beam, leaving just Tauros. And if you know Gen 1, Tauros is literally one of the best Pokemon. So yeah, this was a little bit threatening. I nailed an Ice Beam after tanking a Hyper Beam, hoping to freeze it, but 3 Ice Beams wasn't enough to do so with Blastoise, so it goes down, leading to my Dugong. I tried paralyzing it with Body Slam, but it survived just barely, so I just followed up with Gyarados to win the fight. I actually didn't realize he was using level 55 Pokemon, so I was actually decently underleveled for this fight. Guess it pays to have the type advantage for a battle. From here, I tried taking on Erika, but she's too tough because I have the type disadvantage on my end, so I decided to just skip over her for the time being, instead going after the Pokemon Tower and the Poké-Flute. For some reason though, the floors here in the Pokemon Tower are completely rearranged, leaving the rival battle to be right before the final floor, but that's not too big of a deal, and neither is the battle itself. He's actually got a relatively normal team, starting with Pidgeot as I go for Dugong, getting hit with Hyper Beam for a little over half as I take it down with 2 Aurora Beams, leading to Golem. It's a one-shot with Waterfall, so Venusaur is out next, so I decided to swap into Blastoise to hit it with Ice Beam as it missed us with Razor Leaf, allowing me to hit a second one before he swaps out for his own Blastoise. So I just started going for Body Slam to paralyze. I would have won this mirror match if it weren't for 2 frickin' Hyper Potions on his end, so I just got mad and tried KOing with Gyarados with Thunderbolt, but he swaps right before I can, back into Venusaur. So I KO with Blizzard, then KO Blastoise with Thunderbolt, leading to Charizard. I'm able to hit Waterfall, enduring a minimal Body Slam in the process, but he decides to swap for Mew, paralyzing me, and I'm able to paralyze him in return with Body Slam. But of course, I barely missed the KO, so he uses another Hyper Potion. He's really trying with these shenanigans, swapping for Charizard once Mew took too much damage, so I just KO'd that with Gyarados, leaving just his paralyzed Mew, so I just finished it off with Golduck after getting paralyzed, winning me the battle. That wasn't too bad, since the starters are relatively easy to counter, and Pidgeot's just not that good against my team, so I'm all good. But after that battle, I decided I needed to grind a bit in prep for Erika, so I just took out the Marowak that I found at the top of the tower, since they're ground type and they're easy KOs, getting my team to around level 55 before taking out the rest of Team Rocket, and getting the Poké-Flute from Mr. Fuji to continue on. I actually decided to just continue south towards Route 12, since I kinda forgot I didn't fight Erika yet, but I did manage to remember after doing a few fights, traveling back to take her down. She's still tough despite me having a slight level advantage, as she starts with Vileplume. Dugong's able to start off against it pretty well, avoiding a Sleep Powder and taking it down with 2 shots of Aurora Beam, leading to Clefable. No Fairy type exists yet, so I swap out to Poliwrath to take care of it with Submission, barely missing the KO before getting paralyzed and taking a Psychic. But I managed to survive and hit another Submission for the KO, leading to Venusaur. I figured that Gyarados would be able to hit it hard since it's neutral to grass thanks to the flying subtype, so I hit a Blizzard before getting put to sleep. Gyarados did wake up pretty quickly though, only having to endure a single critical Razor Leaf before taking Venusaur down with a second Blizzard, leading to Tangela. I missed with Blizzard, but he also missed with Sleep Powder, so I hit one next turn, and he misses again. Alright, I'll take a free KO with Body Slam, leading to Victory Bell. I got my last Blizzard off before going down, so I just followed up with Ice Beam from Blastoise to take it out, leaving just Exeggutor. I went for Body Slam in the attempt to get it paralyzed, but I missed it after 2 of them getting paralyzed myself. So I just went for Ice Beam on the last turn I had before going down, managing to eke out the win with a critical Ice Beam. Sweet, 4 badges down, 4 to go. And I'm already level 60, how the heck is this gonna work? Well, at least the last 2 gyms are weak to water. So continuing on from where I was, I got through that big old gauntlet from routes 12, 13, 14, and 15, going back to heal several times before finally arriving in Fuchsia City. Oh sweet, I can go ahead and fight the gym already. That was pretty quick. Wait a second. I can't get in. I have to use Fly to get in this gym? What the f***? Wow. Guess I'll have to go through the Cycling Road Gauntlet as well, but first, it's Safari Zone time. And it's hell. Oh, you thought the Safari Zone in the Heart Gold Soul Silver Professor Oak's challenge was bad? No, this is hell. The fact that you have to be exact with your steps, as it takes literally 499 out of your 500 steps to get the HM for Surf. The gold teeth are also here, but I can't get that without using Silph outside of battle, meaning I have to beat Koga, but I have to get Fly first. This game is really good at railroading you in such a roundabout way. I've never seen a game try this hard to do such a thing. I can't even get my words out right because this is just dumb. This is bad game design. I like the battles, I do not like the map edits. Let's just leave it at that. Either way, once I got Fly, I went straight for Koga's gym to take him down. And it only took like 4 attempts before I managed to snag his badge. Koga leads with a Venomoth as I go for Golduck, immediately going for Psychic and doing about half as he misses with Sleep Powder. I hit another one as he missed again, but he finally got a Stun Spore off before going down, leading to Wheezing. It manages to hit a Thunderbolt, but I got a critical Psychic to take it down in one shot, leading to Mr. Mime. It finally manages to pick off Golduck, so I went for Gyarados, hitting it with Body Slam and getting the paralysis on the first attack, leading to a full heal and a free turn to take the revenge kill with Body Slam. Next out is Nidoking, so I stayed in to attempt Waterfall, taking a Thunderbolt to do about the same amount of damage to him, going down and leading to the revenge kill with Dugong. Fifth out is Gengar, and I know this thing's an explosion user, so I basically started baiting it with Rest, managing to get it to do so, tanking it and leading to his Tentacruel. It's his last Pokemon and misses Wrap twice as I wake up, but I wasn't able to get another Rest before he KO'd, so I just went into Blastoise. Of course, it's faster and hits literally 75% of my HP's worth of Wraps, but I finally managed to get 2 digs off before going down, finishing it, and winning the Soul Badge. Awesome, now I can use Silph outside of battle and get into Silph Company. Now, I know this is going to be the biggest gauntlet in the game based on the amount of trainers that are in there normally, so I need to grind first. I made sure to get my whole team to level 70 on the route to the right of Fuchsia, running through the wild Pokemon that range in the mid-50s, which is pretty good EXP before heading inside. The trainers in here are all huddled around the entrances to each area, sometimes 2 or even 3 at a time, which is why I needed to grind since I didn't want to take a chance and attempt to pause at a specific frame to heal in between fights. And honestly, that's more of a glitch that I can do than anything, so I don't want to do it anyway. Most of these rockets have around level 65 Pokemon, so I'm not even at that much of an advantage. So much so that I was still losing, so I grinded again to level 75. Then I realized something. Even throughout here, I've been picking up a crap ton of rare candies throughout this run, more than you'd get in any other Pokemon game. Enough to where I've gotten almost 30 of them, so I just said screw it and use them all. I'll be able to buy more at the Indigo Plateau anyway, so there's no reason I shouldn't use them now. So I got the team to level 80 plus. Just a roundabout way, I just figured, hey, I'll level up the ones that I'm not going to use as much, and keep the other ones lower so that I can use them and get all the EXP. So, at this point, I felt pretty comfortable with the rest of the major battles at this point, those being against Rival Fivel. Yes, it's Rival Fivel because I'm actually playing Gen 1, Giovanni, a mystery opponent that I won't reveal yet, and Sabrina. So let's go ahead and talk about the Rival. He's a bit easier now that we've gotten a level advantage, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have coverage to take care of my Pokemon if I'm not careful. He leads with Sand Slash, an easy one-shot with Waterfall from Dugong. Next out is Dodrio, who hits a massive Hyper Beam, but Aurora Beam takes it out. Third out is his Executor, who takes half damage from an Aurora Beam, but Dugong is paralyzed for the turn, and goes down to Psychic, so I went out in a Blastoise to take it out, hitting an Ice Beam for just shy of the KO. So he healed and paralyzed Blastoise, but I was able to come back, hitting an Ice Beam, and even through my special being lowered thanks to Psychic, a critical came just in time for the KO, leading to his Gyarados. I swapped for my own since a 13 level difference should be enough to take it down with Thunderbolt, and sure enough it is, leading to his 5th Pokemon, Arcanine, who's also a one-shot this time with Waterfall. Last out is Mew, and it's the only thing that can endure hits, so I just swapped to using Body Slam so I could attempt to paralyze it. But I did just enough damage to KO without it even happening, enduring a few Psychics to win. And with that, I can grab a Gappers from this guy. Am I using it? No, it went to the box. Just wanted to thank you guys out there. We're not getting our 6th team member just yet. We are, however, going to face Giovanni, who still starts with Persian. I guess our rival is the only one who swaps his team around. I decided to start with Poliwrath, going for Hypnosis after getting hit with Slash, taking it out with a single submission before he sent out Nidoqueen. I put it to sleep, but it woke immediately, and I missed the second Hypnosis, going down before being able to do any damage. so I just went into Golduck to do the same thing, taking it out without taking any damage and leading to Alakazam. I stayed in to try to put it to sleep, which I managed to do, but I got paralyzed, which isn't a problem since I still took it down in 3 seismic tosses. Next out is Gengar, so I put it to sleep and hit it with Psychic, but it woke up and used Explosion. Tried avoiding that, but that's fine, it went down either way. 5th out is Tauros, using Body Slam and taking out Golduck, so I just went into Blastoise to endure a Hyper Beam, KOing after 2 surfs and leaving just Zapdos. Oh boy. Alright, well I went for Ice Beam, doing around half before getting paralyzed and KO'd with Thunderbolt. So I went to Dugong after that, getting crit with a one-shot, so I went into Gyarados, probably gonna get KO'd, but I went for Blizzard, and somehow I outsped, KOing and winning the fight. That Zapdos scared the crap out of me, but at least now I'm prepared for it in the final battle against him later on. And with that, Team Rocket's out of Saffron, so I can take on the gym, but I decided to jump over to the Fighting Dojo, who's now run by Bruno. Yeah, apparently he's retired from the Elite Four and is running his own dojo, but he's still willing to fight, so screw it. Let's take him down to prove that Bruno sucks. He leads with Golem, an easy one-shot with Golduck's Waterfall, leading to Primeape. Alright, cool. Psychic. Oh, Rhydon? Sweet. Waterfall. There's a Poliwrath. Cool. 2 Psychics. Why the heck do you have a Muck? Oh, it went boom. Okay, neat. Last out is Machamp, and I put it to sleep, hitting it with 2 Psychics to win. I actually decided to take Hitmonlee since it went directly to my PC, so I said, screw it, who cares? Alright, actual gym time. Sabrina's gym isn't hard to get through, and neither is Sabrina herself. She leads with Jinx, so I led with Gyarados, hitting a Body Slam and getting Paralysis, leading to it healing with a full heal on the same turn, so I finished it with a second Body Slam with no damage. Great, I love when that happens. Second out is Slowbro, which I hit with Body Slam to try to paralyze, which I did again, hitting it with Thunderbolt to finish it off. Alright, lucky, but the luck ended with Hypno since she... Oh, come on. Alright, 3 down. Executor's out next, and I used Blizzard, getting put to sleep. Come on, really? How the heck is this battle going so well? I finished it off with a second Blizzard, but alright. Starmie should run through me, right? It has Thunderbolt. Well, it does paralyze me with Thunder Wave, so I landed a Thunderbolt for over half, getting KO'd with Thunderbolt, right? No, I survived with 20 HP, even though I'm 4 times weak, and hit it with a Thunderbolt myself to KO, leaving just Alakazam. No way I'm losing now, right? I went for Body Slam, since for some reason it went for Recover at full HP, and then went for it again. Oh, come on, I literally swept her with a single Pokemon. When does that ever happen in a Kaizo hack? I mean, I guess I'm slightly overleveled, but that was a lot of hacks, but I'll friggin' take it. Alright, now that I can get the HM for Strength in the Safari Zone, which isn't as hard as getting Surf since you have about 100 steps of wiggle room. So I grabbed the gold teeth, redeemed them for the HM for Strength, grabbed the rare candy, and ran on out. The end of this should be pretty fast though, just do the gauntlet from Pallet Town to Cinnabar and we'll be... They blocked off this too? I have to go around Seafoam Islands. Alright. Well, there aren't any hard battles, there's just a bunch of trainers, including in the Pokemon Mansion. I'd talk about something, but it's honestly the same progression as the original Red and Blue, albeit with a lot more filler that I don't normally talk about anyway. So how about a shout-out? Yeah, you guys expected a choke, but I honestly have nothing today, my brain's fried. But now that I've got a little bit of a platform here, speaking of which, thank you guys so much for over 40,000 subscribers, I wanted to mention some smaller channels that you guys might enjoy. Today's shout-out has to go to my man Billy the Bard 11th. He does fantastic metal covers of video game and anime music, and has one of the best covers of the Team Yell battle theme from Sword and Shield that I've ever heard. Here, take a little listen to it and tell me that this isn't epic for a grinding montage. I'll be leaving this Pokemon cover playlist in the description, but now it's Blaine time, now that I'm all fired up after that. He leads with Charizard, so I went for Poliwrath, getting hit with Slash as I went for Hypnosis. Missing, but I did hit one after he hit Earthquake. Of course, Blaine ends up just having full heals, so he healed it next turn, but it did give me an opening to hit 2 Surfs for the KO. Next out is Chansey, so I just sacrificed Poliwrath to hit a big ol' submission for about 75% damage, finishing it off with Gyarados' critical body slam and leading to Rapidash. This thing is insane, since it has both Hypnosis and Horn Drill, and since opposing Pokemon can't drain PP like they can in future games, meaning he has infinite Horn Drills, which means he could just keep going and kill my entire team, which he does. Alright, new strat. Fight that thing with the fastest Pokemon on my team. I went in again and did the same thing to his Charizard and Chansey, leading to back to Rapidash. This time, he went straight for Horn Drill, missing, so I got a critical paralysis body slam, taking it out next turn with Gyarados. Alright, we should be fine from here. Flareon goes down really easily to a single critical Waterfall, leading to Magmar. Waterfall does over half, but Thunderbolt is a one-shot, so I just went out into Blastoise to finish it off with Surf. But it gets crit with Thunderbolt. Shoot. Alright, I went out into Golduck and got hit with Solar Beam for a near one-shot, but I managed to take it out, leaving just Moltres. Not gonna lie, I expected him to have this. Golduck goes down to the Solar Beam from the Fried Chicken himself, so I went out into Dugong, my bulkiest Pokemon, and just whittled it down with Waterfall, eventually taking it out after getting burned, winning the match. Not gonna lie, I was scared once Magmar started running through my team. Imagine if this was Gen 4 Kaizo. If it was a Megmortar, I totally would have been destroyed. Anyway, the last gym is as easily accessible as it is in Vanilla Gen 1, so I just flew over to Viridian, took on his gym trainers, and grabbed the Super Rod from his gym? Huh. Well, I'm sure that'll be useful for my final team member. But with that, I challenged him to the fight of our lives, and it was glorious. Shockingly, I'm underleveled again! How does this keep happening? Oh right, it's Kaizo. Well, he leads with a level 90 Persian, but it goes down to a single submission after missing a Hypnosis, leading to Dugtrio, and one shot with Surf after missing with Fissure. Alright, the exchange is now in my favor now, but here comes Zapdos, going for Drill Peck, but I managed to put it to sleep with Hypnosis after surviving, and I managed to take it down with a few Surfs, doing so right as soon as it woke up. That was very close. Fourth out is Gengar, and it missed with Hypnosis while I hit with Hypnosis. Funny how things work. So I KO'd with 2 Earthquakes, leading to the big bad Tauros. Poliwrath finally went down, so I swapped for Gyarados as it missed Hyper Beam, hitting 2 Body Slams as I hit 3 of my own to KO, leaving just Mewtwo. I can't say I'm surprised, this is Giovanni after all, but dear lord, this thing packs a punch! I tried paralyzing with Body Slam, but I only left a small dent in it before going down, so I went out into Blastoise as it paralyzed me and 2-shot with Psychic, with me only getting a minuscule strength off. Somehow, Golduck ended up being the one to put it to sleep after it paralyzed. However, I even through a fully paralyzed turn, I managed to hit 2 Seismic Tosses to finish it off and win me the fight, and turn the last badge. We're getting close, but I won't truly know if I'm capable until I get to the league and start taking them down. Alright, one more rival battle before Victory Road, and I gotta be prepared. So I went for shopping for items, which admittedly I'm not going to use in the battle. These are mostly for, like, the Elite Four and stuff, and went in. He leads with Jolteon, a near one-shot with Poliwrath's Earthquake, but he heals with a Hyper Potion straight after, and I see that it doesn't heal all the way, so I finished it off with a second Earthquake, also taking out Rhydon with Surf before leading to his Tauros. It went for Body Slam, hitting twice as I went for 2 submissions, leading to Executor, taking out Poliwrath, so I went into Blastoise to try to take it down with Ice Beam, only doing around a third as it hit with Stun Spore and Psychic, but I got a crit to take it out, leading to Starmie. So I swapped out for Gyarados, expecting a Thunder Wave before a Thunderbolt, so I hit it with my own Thunderbolt, barely enduring one from it, as I hit it with a second for the KO, leaving just his Mew. It starts with Soft Boiled, because it's a moron, so I take advantage and use Body Slam, paralyzing it and hitting it with Blizzard before going down, sending in Blastoise to see what it could do. It couldn't do a damn thing since it also went down, so I just went into Golduck to use Psychic, and since even though it resists and I get hit with Thunder Wave, I'm able to follow up with a Seismic Toss to finish it off and win the match. I'm actually surprised that he was so much easier than Giovanni, having much lower levels, but hey, I'll take it. Victory Road, though, was a whole different beast. Though I did get the TM for Explosion, a move that's synonymous with Kaizo Pokemon, and a great way to gain the advantage. Sadly, though, none of my Pokemon can learn it. I guess I'll just have to add a member to the team that can. And sure enough, after getting through Victory Road and making the Indigo Plateau a flyable location, I'm able to locate a Shellder using the Super Rod, evolving it with a Water Stone that I got from Celadon, and giving it both the TMs for Toxic and Explosion. along with keeping Clamp and Ice Beam, maxing out all of my team's levels with the $1 rare candies from the league, and it's time. I believe in myself, but do you? Leave a comment below if you're as scared as I am, because I am terrified of these level 115 Pokemon, especially without max EVs and no stat experience. I guess I'll mention this before we go in. Generation 1 doesn't have EVs and IVs, rather it has DVs, the equivalent of IVs that can go up to 15, and stat experience, which can max out at 65,535. But you can't get any in Blue Kaizo. Sort of like how in Emerald Kaizo you can't get EVs, but this is mitigated by the badge boosts you get, since you get a 12.5% boost to each stat for each odd number badge collected. So it basically makes our Pokemon the equivalent to level 112.5. Yeah, still a disadvantage, but not as bad as you may think. Anyway, the first person we have to deal with is Lorelei, no surprise there. She leads with Cloyster, so I go for Dugong since I'm expecting Explosion, and sure enough it happens. I can't even endure a non-crit? Really? Thought Dugong was going to be able to. Well, out next is Nidoqueen, and it's a one-shot with a critical waterfall from Gyarados, leading to Vaporeon. So I use Gyarados' Thunderbolt, getting hit with a Body Slam and retaliating with a critical Paralysis Body Slam, and a second Thunderbolt for the KO, leading to Jinx. I figured it would be frail, so I swapped for Cloyster and attempt to KO with the good old OK Boomer, getting a crit after getting nailed with Psychic and leading to her Lapras. Sure enough, she's got full heals, as we've seen earlier, so I can't put her to sleep on the double down, so I just went for 2 submissions to take it down along with Poliwrath, leaving just Articuno. Yeah, she's an Ice-type trainer, of course she's gonna have Articuno. And it ends up really being a pain, so I went out into Gyarados to hit it with a Thunderbolt, but it outspeeds, though misses with Sky Attack, so I managed to hit it once before she missed again. Alright, sweet. And then she missed for a 3rd time, allowing me to KO with a critical Thunderbolt. Holy crap, that was unexpected, but I will take it. 1 down, 4 to go. So, the person that replaces Bruno is Professor Oak, and that's not too shocking, but his team sure is when he starts with a Raichu. This thing wrecks my entire team, so I wasted no time exploding on it with Cloyster, leading to his Machamp. I hit Psychic with Golduck, lowering his special as he landed High Jump Kick, so I followed up with a critical Waterfall, enduring a Body Slam before hitting one more for the KO, leading to Chansey out 3rd. It's insane with Thunderbolt, managing to do a monstrous amount to Poliwrath after getting hit with Earthquake, so I just followed up with Submission to do as much damage to it before going down, finishing it off with 2 Body Slams with Dugong. Alright, half down, half to go. The rest of the Kanto starters, first of which being Charizard, who missed with Fire Blast as I went for rest. Hoping I'd be able to survive long enough to wake up and hit Waterfall, but it didn't happen. And since opponents don't have limited PP in Generation 1, he just kept spamming Fire Blast until Dugong went down. So I just went into Blastoise to take it down, living on 59 HP before it went down and leading to his Venusaur. I know I outspeed this dumb thing, so I went for the random Fissure, managing to hit and one-shotting it, leaving just his own Blastoise. Somehow, I outsped and hit it with a critical strength, but I lost the mirror match, getting KO'd with Earthquake and leaving just my Gyarados, which manages to KO his Blastoise with a critical Thunderbolt. Alright, that battle was a lot closer than it should have been, so I'm hoping to God I can get through Agatha without getting completely destroyed. Unfortunately, she's nowhere near as bad as you'd think. She leads with Hypno, which is so slow that Cloyster manages to outspeed it and take it down without missing a single clamp. Alright, well, I'm already up 6-5, so this battle should be easy. Enter Executor, who actually dies to 3 blizzards after getting frozen and missing a sleep powder from Gyarados. Whoops. Third out is Tentacruel, which goes down to 3 Thunderbolts as Gyarados endured several attacks, leading to Jinx. I was thinking of swapping, but I stayed in and went for Body Slam, but that didn't end up working since Gyarados just went down to a critical Psychic. So much for that, so I went into Poliwrath in hopes to hit Earthquake, but that was dumb because who would go into a Fighting type on a Psychic type? My next attempt to hit it was with Dugong, using Body Slam and getting a crit as well as Paralysis, only having to take a single Blizzard before taking it down, leading to Gengar. Here's hoping it goes boom on me, but it doesn't, shockingly, going down to 2 of Golduck's Psychics. Next out is Alakazam, which I hit with Seismic Toss after getting paralyzed, but Golduck's too weak to survive anything else, so I'm left with 2 options. Actually, 1 option. Boom. Bye-bye. With that, I'm able to move on to the last league member, Lance, who's got a pretty heck of a team. He starts with Kangaskhan, and despite outspeeding Cloyster, I was actually able to hold it down with Clamp long enough to KO it, surviving a few Earthquakes to do so. With that, I figured I'd just Clamp a few times on Lapras since I know that it's not going down to a single explosion. It doesn't do much, but that's not a problem since I outspeed. To be honest, I probably could have just clamped and KO'd and left Explosion for his third Pokemon, but I figured I'd be fine, so I exploded and moved on to Electabuzz. I swapped for Poliwrath, absorbing a Thunder Wave to deal out a one-shot critical Earthquake, leading to Dragonite. I swapped for Gyarados since for sure Blizzard's gonna one-shot, but shockingly it survives on barely any HP, but he misses with Wrap, so I just KO'd with Body Slam, only getting paralyzed, leading to Snorlax. Poliwrath's paralyzed, but screw it, I need to get some damage off, so I hit it with a massive submission before going down, leading up to the follow-up KO with Gyarados' Body Slam, leaving just Aerodactyl. It does a massive amount of damage with Rock Slide, but I'm able to do around 80% with Waterfall, following up with Blastoise and KOing with Surf after getting hit with a Razor Wind, leaving just one more battle. I can taste this victory, it is almost there, this Kaizo game will not break me down! Oh yeah, I've got to say that having purchasable ethers is really useful since I've been able to restore the PP on Explosion and Fissure despite having only 1 PP each for those moves. Anyway, after healing in between battles, since I can do that because of the rules since it's not in battle, it's time. Me versus Wiener. Meatball versus Sausage. Who will come out with the longer... The champion starts with Mew, who paralyzes Dugong, but I went for Aurora Beam to lower its attack, doing so a few times in a row. But he kept going for Body Slam. Why not just go for Psychic? It's your stab attack that does more damage. Oh well, that's fine with me, though he uses Soft Boil to get his lot of HP back. I started wailing on it with Waterfall, hitting 3 of them to KO with only a little under half HP left. Next out is Jolteon, so I swapped to keep a Pokemon alive in case the end of this battle ends up being an explosion away, going for Poliwrath in an attempt to hit an Earthquake, only getting hit with a Thunder Wave before doing well over half, getting KO'd next turn. Alright, I should be able to take it down with Golduck, so I went into it, going for Seismic Toss after getting hit with Thunder Wave for the KO, leading to his third Pokemon, Exeggutor. Gyarados is great for handling these, so I went out into him for Blizzard, hitting 1, dodging Sleep Powder, hitting a Body Slam, dodging again, and landing 1 more Blizzard for the KO, leading to Starmie. I went on a limb and tried to freeze it with Blizzard, getting hit with Thunder Wave, and shockingly enough, I managed to get it, which gave me a free turn to hit Thunderbolt, getting a crit to take it down scot-free. That was kinda scary, but the rest of this battle shouldn't be bad. Next out is Tauros, and since it's a physical attacker, I just went out into Cloyster to take it out with Clamp, surviving with about half before his last Pokemon, Mewtwo, merged. Sure enough, it had Thunder Wave like I expected it to, so I went for Clamp to do a bit of damage to it, getting 4 hits before going to Explosion, surviving a critical Body Slam, barely missing the KO. So I went for Golduck, living a massive Psychic in order to hit one last Waterfall, winning the match, and the Kaizo Championship. Let's go! I did it. Man, that Grass-type challenge has been haunting me from Emerald Kaizo ever since Chizzy proved you could do it, since I just wasn't familiar enough with Kaizo to do it, but now I feel like I know what I'm doing, and since I heard Blue was one of the hardest ones, thanks to those level 115 Pokemon, I feel great being able to clear it with just water types. However, with one challenge comes another, and since I've never done a Gen 2 challenge proper on the channel, let's kick it off with style next week when we take on Professor Oak's challenge in Pokemon Crystal. See y'all next week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as a reminder, if you're still here, be sure to hit that subscribe button so we can get the non-subbed viewership percentage from 80% to 60% by the end of the month. And while you're at it, I'd really appreciate it if you hit those buttons down below, the like button, and if you turned on notifications so that you'd be shown when these videos are going live, and when the premieres are going down, since I'd like to chat with you guys while we watch the run together. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, I'll see you next time.